Congratulations to our University of Birmingham graduands. Here we are in the Great Hall at the heart of the Edgbaston campus. Attendees, mostly graduands and their friends and family, are seated. Here are the student musicians. Now we're getting started. Here's the first of our 2 mace bearers beginning the ceremony. The centenary mace bearer is usually a staff member who has volunteered to take part in the ceremony. The mace bearer enters through the back of the Great Hall and leads a procession of staff to the stage. The Esquire Bedell, who is the second of the 2 mace bearers, follows. Maces are placed on stage for the duration of the ceremony.
I declare the congregation open. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for coming. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Education, it is my great honour to welcome you, our graduands, and your friends, family and supporters to your graduation ceremony. We are here today to celebrate you and the hard work, determination and resilience that you have demonstrated during your study with us. Today marks the culmination of your educational journey. There will have been challenges along the way that you were not expecting. During your time at Birmingham, we have experienced a global pandemic which has impacted our lives in ways that we could never have imagined. We have witnessed the terrible invasion of Ukraine and the ongoing war, and we're experiencing significant economic pressures at home. In times like these, friendship and the power of relationships is critical. As a university, we see this in our relationships with you, our graduands, with all of our students and our alumni, and in our partnerships across the city, nation, and the world. We see it in our partnership with Ivan Franko University, Lviv, which is helping to support the conservation of Ukrainian higher education. We see it as we host academics fleeing war and conflict from many parts of the world. We see it as we work with our student guild to support students in managing the cost of living crisis. I would ask you to consider for a moment all that you have achieved during your time with us. 4 years or so ago, some of you will have attended the Open Day lecture I gave on Virginia Woolf's essay about women's access to higher education, A Room of One's Own. You might remember that Woolf talks about visiting a Cambridge college, where as a woman and a visitor, rather than a scholar or a fellow, she was banned from walking on the grass or entering the library. And you might remember that I invited you to walk as much as you liked on the grass during that day in Birmingham, to explore the library, to feel welcomed by this great civic university that was set up to be a community of research and learning for all. Little did we know that only a few weeks later we would be negotiating how to live and study in lockdown, away from the joy of busy, crowded, everyday life in which Woolf found the inspiration for her writing. You began your study with us in a period when we were negotiating Tier 3 restrictions, online lectures, socially distanced seminars. You had one of the hardest transitions to university of any year group, but you were resilient, We emerged from that period and you were able to walk on the grass as much as you liked, to explore new ideas and experience the thrill of intellectual discovery. Your educational journeys have been marked by challenges, but also growth, moments of doubt, but many more moments of inspiration. I hope that as you look back on all of this, you will feel a huge sense of pride. Today is an important step in your journey, a moment to celebrate the tenacity, determination, and drive you have shown to reach your goals. You have met new people who have taught, supported, and encouraged you in many ways, and made friends who will last a lifetime. You have expanded your horizons, challenged assumptions, and developed the skills necessary to thrive in the world that awaits you. Never let anybody tell you that a degree in the arts and humanities is not valuable in our contemporary world. You are the communicators, the creative and critical thinkers who will tell the stories of our future. You understand the power of words to inform, to inspire, to entertain, to beguile, to manipulate. You understand the importance of the silences and what is written between the lines. You are also readers. Words weave the stories that are told about ourselves, our nation, our world. You recognize who tells those stories. You understand from what context they come and for what purposes, and you have the ability to tell those stories perhaps a little differently for the future. In a world in which we feel increasingly uncertain about the integrity of the stories we are told and where they come from, your skills are essential. It is our hope that your time here at the University of Birmingham has equipped you with the tools you need to embrace this role with compassion, with understanding, and with confidence. The skill of communicating well, of reading deeply, critically, empathetically, will always remain with you, a source of pleasure, of solace, of lifelong learning. You now have the opportunity to apply your knowledge and expertise to address the needs of our world now and in the future. You have the power to make a difference. Choose to make that difference a positive one and for the benefit of all. As you leave us to embark on the next chapter of your story, I would ask you to take a moment to recognise two groups of people who have been instrumental in your success so far. Sitting behind me are just some of those who have inspired your learning, encouraged your intellectual curiosity, and nurtured your development. Please would you take a moment to thank all the tutors and student support teams who have supported you throughout your degree. And sitting here in the front, also watching live online around the world, are your friends and family, who are so proud of everything you have achieved and without whom you wouldn't be here. You will all have those people who believed in you. And graduands, please give a round of applause and huge cheer to say thank you to the friends, family and supporters who've made today possible. Soon you will come up onto the stage and I would admit you formally to your degree. This is your moment. When your name is read out, that will be your graduation. And family and friends, please feel free to cheer. So be careful on the steps. Remember to give a big smile to the cameras. And when you go outside later, walk on the grass just one last time. Thank you.
Now for the handing of the scrolls. The graduands will walk from the left of the stage to the centre and collect their scroll from the conferring officer. After they're congratulated, they'll walk off stage.
I'm Professor Tom Lockwood. I'm the presenting officer for today's ceremony, and I'm able to do that because I'm head of the School of English, Drama and Creative Studies. This is one of the very best bits of that job. Pro Vice-Chancellor, to you and to the university, I present the names of these graduands as listed in my programme, proved worthy to be admitted to their respective degrees.
By virtue of my authority as Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I admit those persons listed in the programme, both in attendance and in absentia, to the degree for which they are to be presented.
College of Arts and Law, School of English, Drama and Creative Studies, Doctor of Philosophy. For research into teachers' and students' attitudes towards communicative language teaching, especially the principles of communicative language teaching and their application in English language teaching in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Maram Ahmed M. Asiri. For research into Shakespeare on screen in the 21st century, Benjamin Michael John Broadrib. For research into the lexicogrammatical features of irony, David James Callaghan. For research into archetypes, layered complexity, and the representation of women in the television text Game of Thrones, Louise Julie Coopy. For research into the foundation and evolution of iconographic elements and generic patterns within European fantastic silent cinema, Sabrina Francesca Crivelli. For research into the dynamics of world cinema and the global Western genre, Luis Antonio Frejo Escudero. For research into the uses of shell nouns by undergraduate writers in 3 disciplines in order to describe variation in writing between and within disciplines, Xiaomei Wang. For research into the role of gesture in video game tutorials, Rachel Manley. For research into representations of rape in Shakespeare's work, Catherine Hannah Mann. For research into the performance of Shakespeare in 19th century Manchester, Ian Martin Nixon. For research into the performance of Shakespearean drama without the use of a director, Eleanor Marie Pelloni. For research into the idea of trauma appropriation in contemporary fiction, Rachel Sargent. For research into the development of an original novel by The Sun and Its Right Brightness, and a thesis filling a literary void, Imam Hussein in English literature, Hassan Shiko. For research into dark humour and the surreal in contemporary poetry and the original poetry collection, The Nervous Tick, Victoria Shirley. For research into evaluations of LGBTQ+ representation on television, Emily Trivette. For research into developing a novel with integrated critical research into cognitive linguistic approaches to metaphor and creative writing, Thomas Peter White. For research into the relationship between cognition and communication, including language, gesture and data visualization, Greg Alexander Woodin. For research into the use of communication strategies by Chinese learners of English and into the impact of the interlocutor on this communication strategy use, Bingjun Zhang. Doctor of Philosophy with Integrated Study, for research into the language of parliamentary debates, Rama Saeed Mohammed Al-Basafi. Master of Arts, Olivia May Linley. Abra Amata Preston Roberts. Master of Arts, Applied Linguistics, Matthias Agustin Abea. Matthew James Drysdale. Magdalena Alexandra Golden. Rumsha Khalid. William James Large. Arsia Muslim. Diego Romy. Lindsay Heather Williams. Creative Writing, Eloise Mayela de Sache. Film and Television, Research and Production, Owen Bateman. Language, Culture and Communication, Amelia Rush. Shakespeare and Theatre, Sammy Jo Costi. Shakespeare Studies, Anna Maria Quatek. Christine Louise Straffy, my apologies. Teaching English to speakers of other languages, Carman Chan. Bachelor of Arts, Drama and English, Lucy Madeline Atkins. Jadasayo Ajibola. Megan Arthur. Amy Eyre Story. Mia Denise Deroux. Nicole Mary Haynes. Leah Liu Kong. Jodie Fiona Murphy. Lily Rose Richardson. Abigail Lee Dorothy Whitehead. Bethany Nicole Wilson. Drama and English with Year Abroad, Faith Ann Parker. Drama and Theatre Arts, Lucy May Adley. Catherine Isabel Grace Bartlett. Holly Bayliss. Amelia Rose Blackburn. Molly Elizabeth Butler. Hiwei Chan. Josephine Evdokia Margaret Copsey. Bethan Corley. Charlotte Coulson. Jack Alexander Cowdery. Ruby Hunter Davison. Orla Deacon. Caris Helen Farmden. Hannah Olive Fennick. Charlotte Hadfield. Thomas Harrison. Thomas Homer. Ben Edward Hopkins. James Peter Kelly. Holly Kennelly. Lydia May Kilroy. Catherine Maria Knowles. Daniela Arian Cobrin. Benjamin Lloyd. Abigail Ann Lockyer. Alexandra Lloyden. Noah McAdam. Rachel Mahoney. Natasha Phillips. Poppy Richardson. Dylan Ryan. Emma Francis Saunders. Joe Tattersfield. Imogen Amelia Watson. Georgia Worrell. Yurong Zhao. Drama and Theatre Arts with semester abroad, Sadie Connolly. English and Creative Writing, Denise Adabra. Ella Louise Allard-Jones. Isabel Barlow. Yekajan Berkembayeva. Mariam Butt. Rosemary Ann Karen. Felix Chadwick Histed. Lily Megan Davis. Georgina Marie Davis. Armani Everest. Lily Rose Faulkner Shewitt. Ella Fennell Monan. R. Gao. Erin Eva Green. Paula Harrison. Thea R. Hatton. Ip Hao Yan. Ursa Irfan. Thomas Jeffrey. Siobhan Kilsby. Alina Neupel. Maria Lambert de Rouvois. Rose Mason. Athene Moody. Eva Mulligan. Cormac Murphy. Shanavi Patel. Jasmine Pinson Roxburgh. James Poole. Sophia Salazar Studer. Cara Louise Scott. Simran Sidhu. Sophia Teixeira Gomez. Chloe Leah Thomas Witter. Henriette Olivia Thorson. Olivia Vieta. English and Creative Writing with Year Abroad. Kiana Starr Chapman. Surya Tamar Nicholson. English and Film, Rocklin Asamoah. Milan Balu. Maria Bastan Sarabi. Katie Brady. Megan Loveday Calcutt. Martina Cantore. Joel Luke Etheridge. Eleanor Keane. Annie McDade. Poppy Lee Sharp. Abigail Slade. Lewis Thomas Smith. Sarah Sorrentino. Hannah Ruth Stevenson. Alex Taylor. Macy Amber Willis. English and Film with Year Abroad, Eleanor Holbrook. English Language, India Baker-Gorton. Hazel Katie Dyson. Isabel Freeman. Victoria Hodgkins. Idris Cameron Malik. Kieran Singh Manda. Rosamond Meyer Story Matthews. Faye Eloise Oliver. Oscar Shell. Tianyu Wang. Robert Yates. English Language and Linguistics, Halima Bashir. Lily Bolton Riley. Eve Carter. Alexander Deville. Zoe Suzanne Dibble. Matthew Fazakali. Dulcie Ray Freer Gallagher. Charlotte Olivia George. Sunaina Irfan. Kira Rajni Jasundeep Kaur Jandu. Constance Jones. Freya Jordan. Gabrielle Kansky. Alice Tilly Kingston. Abigail Charlotte Kinsella. Sarah Jennifer Knight. Orla Lewis. Alexander Eric Krusky Powell. Amelia Rees-Jones. Oliver James Rees. Lucy Robson. Emily Rogers. English Language and Literature, Hannah Howard. Usha Santi Carrier-Briggs. Gemma Naylor. Simone Salvatori. Ujma Tahsin Shahid. Spy Ellie Thompson. Ellie Mae Wilson. English Language with Year Abroad, Millie Grace Buxey. So I mentioned that this was one of the best bits of the job, in part because I can now introduce our graduate student representative, Denise Adabra, who will speak on behalf of her cohort.
Okay, I promised myself not to get emotional, so I can't cry. I'm not allowed to. But good afternoon, class of 2023, and of course a very warm welcome to family and friends gathered here to celebrate our lovely graduating students. When I was first asked to deliver the speech, I was quite apprehensive, but then I realized that being a student at this university has taught me not to hold back and to in turn take every opportunity to make sure I have no regrets. I know that I definitely would have regretted not representing and shrouding each and every one of you with the praise you deserve, so I'm glad to be standing here wishing you all well. I'd like to first start off by saying how proud I am of us all for getting through these past few years. Of course, with COVID, it hasn't been easy, yet thankfully we all managed to pull through regardless, so that's like, thank God. I believe that to be very commendable, so like, you all deserve a clap. So. Thank you. I would also like to extend a massive thank you to our professors and the staff who were there for us every step of the way, and those who took the time to set up this like lovely ceremony. So could we also give them all a round of applause, please? Thank you. Of course, thank you to my mother, who's my muse and my inspiration. I'm not allowed to cry, so. Okay, her first language has always been loving me, so I'm really grateful for her. This is so embarrassing. Don't look at me. And she, without fail, answered every 3 a.m. random call, so I'm very grateful for her. Thank you to my uncle for being so encouraging all the time. I'd text him and be like, hey, can you take me back home? And he'd drive all the way from London back home. I'm like, thank you. So very grateful for him. And of course, thank you for my brothers for being beautiful souls. And lastly, thank you to my father, who passed a couple of years ago, but who I know is proud of me. So thank you all. Thank you. Oh God. Okay. This is actually really embarrassing. I was like, I'm going to be cool, calm, and collected, but here I am, so this is very awkward. But don't pretend. Pretend the tears are like happy tears. They're happy. So the main message I did want to share today is centered around the importance of hope, community, and not holding yourself back. As cliche as it sounds, I feel as though I really found myself at this university, and I connected with so many beautiful souls along the way, which I will forever be grateful for. It's been an honor being a part of so many of your lives and seeing so many of you grow and find yourselves too. So thank you for allowing me to come along on the journey with you. Being a student here taught me that no matter how old we get, it is important for each and every one of us to still hold a sense of childlike wonder for the world in our hearts. I was encouraged to go out and make that friend, speak up in that one seminar, attend and participate spoken word poetry events, and later win Unislam with an amazing team. And of course, rewatch childhood shows at the peak of every exam season. SpongeBob is where it's at. And I'm so lucky to have experienced so many new things with encouraging people by my side. So the sense of community cultivated here will be something I know I will miss for sure. I don't know where else I would find friends willing to do all-nighters just to keep me company, as I did assignments I procrastinated completing. So thank you to all my friends and my housemates. They're amazing. As a creative writing student, it would be honestly criminal to not mention anything poetry related. So I'd like to leave you all with a poem I wrote not too long ago about my Birmingham experience. I hope you like it. So I was gonna do another poem, but then I was like, Denise, you are a poet. You can just, present a poem you wrote. So here it is, guys. If it's bad, just look away. Don't look at me. So it's called On Finding My Ribs in Your Home, Birmingham. Collapsing into the way you teach me to abandon my rice-grained teeth along the soiled surface of your spit-slick Selly Oak streets, I grind saccharine memories into the sag of my cranium held upside down with a broken pestle and carry myself to you, the bitter blessed daughter wound around her mother's threadbare ankles. From this coach window, a son hides beneath the shade of his father, their greens as overripe as my housemate's breakfast avocados, their bark lighter than the pits of our laughter when we unravel over dinner. Inside, our great bellies brew an earthquake out of our yearning for homes too distant. Our fingertips sting from their absence. From this coach window, the sky burns. Raw and pink, it bleeds like a bitten tongue, like the cuts on my friends' cracked lips or the inside of our open, giggling mouths as we split the spoilt Audi-bought figs rotting in their cupboard with frozen fingertips and feed the carcasses to their pregnant, insatiable bins. I want to sink into your bones, Birmingham. I want to make myself small again and burrow into the flesh of these memories you gift me. Want them to open their torn throats for me so I can will the me I am in them to lift my tongue and speak for me. I want to feel the way foreign words like I love you can roll like another friend's jokes so swiftly off of a stiff tongue, and come to not mind the tapioca pile tears welling in my eyes when I recognize how much I've grown since being here. Birmingham, I want the me I am in your home to know that from this coach window, the rows of red-hot poppies remind me of how she wanted us to know no fear when the tomato sauce slipped from lively hands, the jar splitting and becoming the jagged rims of a cracked coconut. She wanted us to know that she found warmth in how our housemates' cackles broke apart their wishbone ribs one by one, and she felt butter-soft tenderness at how easily they fed them to us, as though nourishing us was their second language. You'll give us bitter blessed daughters sugar-tough ribs, Birmingham, and we will be child-happy that we abandoned our rice-grain teeth along your soiled Selly Oak streets. Thank you. Okay, that's done. Before I skedaddle, I wanted to say I'm so proud of each and every one of you, and take all the time you need because the world is waiting for your greatness. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise, for your thoughtful words, your evocative poem, and for representing the class of 2023 so well. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor and head of the College of Arts and Law, it falls to me to bring this ceremony to a close. I know I speak for all the staff of the Departments of English Language and Linguistics, Film and Creative Writing, Drama and Theatre Arts, and the Shakespeare Institute in saying how delighted we are to see you graduate today and to congratulate you on your achievements. Amid the effects of the pandemics, you have studied and succeeded during a time of unparalleled national and global disruption. You've had to work hard, write essays, give performances, pass assessment, and deal with a changed world. You have done incredibly well, and I know that all the staff here are very proud of you. This is a university where actors such as Tasman Gregg and Victoria Wood have studied, where authors such as David Lodge and Anthony Burgess have worked, and where the arts and humanities are prized. The arts and humanities are critical for understanding human society and the human spirit, for the understanding needed for digital, scientific and technological advances to succeed, for enriched lives and better futures. Fulfilled lives must include art, culture, communication, beauty and joy. Whatever you do, wherever you go, you will take with you the skills, knowledge and passion you've developed during your time here. Arts and humanities graduates end up working in all manner of fields, in creative arts and industries, in business and government, as policy makers, as charity and community leaders, in international organisations, media, publishing, heritage, to name but a few fields in which our graduates excel. All of these areas value graduates who can think, who can analyse, who can reason, who can write, who can problem solve, who can lead, who can create, who can inspire. So I would encourage you to think about what you can do with your degree and the difference you can make. From our very beginnings in 1900, as England's first civic university, Birmingham has welcomed people of all faiths and backgrounds to this university and has been home to some truly inspirational people. If you walk down the corridors either side of the Great Hall, you'll see museum objects, prototypes, manuscripts and photographs that tell the stories of groundbreaking research undertaken here at this university. They include a portrait of Nicholas Pevsner, arguably the most important architectural historian of the 20th century, who wrote his book, An Inquiry into Industrial Art in England, here. There is a photograph of Professor Stuart Hall, who used cultural studies to understand the broader constructs that shape our everyday life and whose intellectual influence has been enormous. There is a bust of Sir Edward Elgar, the first professor of music here and one of this country's best-known and best-loved composers. The exhibition provides just a few examples of how people at this university have changed lives, have helped us understand and interpret the world around us, and have brought new ideas, art, colour and joy to many others. Whatever you do, wherever you go, you can take pride in having studied and learnt at this university. This university and this city have been in the public eye during your time here. It will not have escaped anyone's notice that Birmingham hosted the Commonwealth Games last summer and that the University of Birmingham played a prominent part, and that here on campus we hosted the largest student village and every game of hockey and squash. Birmingham students and alumni competed across 9 sports and did incredibly well, winning 2 golds, a silver and 2 bronzes, more than several small countries put together. I cannot guarantee that we'll have a major sporting event on our doorstep every summer, although next month we're hosting the International Blind Sports Federation World Games, and we're working with the city to ensure we build on the legacy of the Games and the excitement and enthusiasm they generated. But whatever's happening on campus, you will always be welcome here. If you haven't already, do call by and take in the old and new masterpieces in the Barber Institute, one of this country's best fine art galleries, or stop by for one of the music concerts put on by students from across the university, or attend one of the public lectures given by our world-leading researchers, or just take in again the beauty of this campus, these buildings, this place. When you leave here today, you start a new chapter with new challenges and new opportunities. We look forward to watching your progress and seeing the difference you make. Our careers service remains available to you whenever you want advice and support, and our alumni relations team run events connecting you with the more than 300,000 Birmingham alumni all around the world. Whether you've come from overseas, like me, from another part of this country, or from here in the West Midlands, the University of Birmingham has been your home, and our doors will always remain open to you. You entered the Great Hall today as graduands, but you leave as graduates of the University of Birmingham. Class of 2023, well done.
I declare the congregation closed.
Congratulations to our new graduates. The attendees applaud our new graduating class. To close the ceremony, the maces are collected from the stage. The mace bearers lead the procession of staff and new graduates out of the Great Hall. The ceremony that completes the university journey for hundreds of Birmingham alumni is now closed.